multiply. So a part of our shutting down was our metamorphosis stage. So what had happened was we started losing divine memory. And as a result, the Egyptians or the Hemmites recorded, in a recording period of the monumental phase, they recorded all of this particular knowledge in all of these particular temples. Do you know that a part of the Greeks coming in and accessing some of that particular information was a part of the plan?
Wow.
And what I mean by that is this. You got to look at a bigger picture. They understood that we was going to deteriorate and we was going to go to sleep as a people. So they built these particular monuments, and they were there for thousands of years to calculate all this type of stuff, as well as going up into people places like India, where a lot of the advanced information was also in India. So they took two nations, the Egyptian and basically the Vedic Indian aspect, which is the same stuff. It's just a different language, Sanskrit or whatever. These two black nations, and what they did was they understood that Egypt was going to have several invasions later on. These invasions would come to bring a certain amount of knowledge out. So it was a divine plan to give it to the Greeks. Because guess what, I'm going to ask you something. If the Greeks couldn't read Egyptian, how would they be able to even understand what the Egyptian stuff is if not the Egyptians did not translate the stuff for them?
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, the temple of Isis at Philae, which was the last temple to be closed, for 100 years, close to 200 years probably, all they did was took meta-netta and translated it into to Greek, Latin, Arabic, Aramaic, Hebrew, and later-day Egyptian called Coptic. And they did this for a reason, so this particular information could survive going into the modern world, because they knew that we was going to go to sleep, go into slavery, all of this, because they got texts. They got the Hermetic text where they talk about us going into slavery. And they say, although you will be an Egyptian or an African, your mind will be of another race. That's in the Hermetic text. Hermetic text, Walter Scott. Hermetic text, Peter Gandy, Timothy Freak. Hermetic text, Copenhagen. We can go on and on about the scholarship. We got those things. The perfect sermon of Asclepius. Which is the father of meta. They got to pray to Asclepius when they take the Hippocratic oath, and Asclepius is the Greek word for Imhotep. So anyway, the fall came long before because our time was running out. Our memory was going. And as a result, we had to record it, give it to the rest of the world. That's what the Moors came in. The Moors are nothing but an Egyptian. The last invasion of Egypt was by the Arabs. The Moors banded together under Islam and took this stuff up into Europe and set up the 16 universities to preserve this. Some people say, well, how did they with Islam? No. The Egyptian priests understood a religion. They could go into a religion like you go into a Democrat or Republican party. They could use it as a political system for conquest to take something to a people. So that's what they did with the whole Islamic thing. So when you look at this bigger picture, all this stuff here was the way it is supposed to be. And they said we will be in the West because the word Osiris means the great Westerner. Right. In the Hermetic text, they say, will we ever get out of this slumber? They said yes. They said it would be a group of ancient Egyptians living in the latter days in the Western Hemisphere. And they would reestablish Maya. So whenever we claimed Kemet in the late 80s and the 90s, that was the coming back of those particular Egyptians rising up, or those Kemites. You see what I'm saying? And all other nations, Moors. We are everything. Somebody say, you Muslim, I say, yeah. you Hebrew, I say, yeah. They say, you Kemet, I say, yeah, because I know that we are the authors of all of that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. So where can we go to look for faith? What would you suggest?
Well, look, if you could just access my tapes, I got over 300 tapes.
Oh, okay. Where do I?
Not only do I have 300 tapes, my tapes. You can actually take my tapes, look at the tapes, and write down scores of bibliography. You see what I'm saying? You could go to YouTube and see my stuff and different stuff. There's Access Bobby Hemmitt. It's tons, and I'm not just saying me. There's other people. Because there's other scholars that's involved in this, but I'm just trying to say, I made sure that a lot of the information, because a lot of them get up and talk before people, but they won't give you no documentation.
Exactly.
See, I came from the school of John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben and them out of the Afrocentric movement.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, I furthered it into the metaphysic movement. But the thing about it here is, in the metaphysical movement, I learned that to document heavy. So I have tons and tons of documentation. I would much rather you access to documentation and to take what I say face value. That don't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? It's not important that you believe in what I'm dealing with. That's not important. It's important is for you to get a certain amount of information so that you can become enlightened and decide for yourself. And when you get that certain amount of information, your spirit will open up and the truth will be there.
Now, how do you, and I'm going to ask one more question and I'm leaving, how do you kind of deal with the information that you're learning? Because I'm learning a lot of information, and I'm getting frustrated when I'm trying to, help bring other people.
There you go. This is what you do.
Them.
This information is for you and you only.
Okay.
Do not make the mistake that every Negro that learns something does. They go and try to teach others.
Yes.
Everybody don't wake up the same time every day.
Yeah.
And when you try to, a person's enlightenment and their awakening period is based on their own time clock. And whenever you disturb a person that's sleeping, you might get killed. And we've made those mistakes. We have our family members, which is a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
And it's usually only 1 or 2 people in a whole family of a 20 that's even conscious. It is not for you to wake up them because you get beat over the head when you wake up dead people. Let the dead lie with the dead. This is a process for your soul to learn to be God. Come back to be the goddess. Not to run off and bump off at the mouth with a bunch of niggas out here that's going to reject it.
Exactly.
That's not important. See, we was trained that way in the 60s, each one teach one. Well, that's good on mundane and political knowledge. But when you're dealing with something advanced, and spiritual and advanced history, our people won't get it until they wake up. And everybody's waking up is based on their own time. So don't make the mistake to try to teach nobody when you're supposed to be learning yourself.
You're right.
You would not go and be in the damn 4th grade, 4 years into learning, and call yourself going to become a damn teacher and try to teach somebody something. You see, when you're still trying to learn this shit yourself. So if you say you're trying to figure shit out, so why would you even open your mouth to somebody else when you don't have all the answers yourself? I'm not talking about you. I'm just trying to give you the concept.
Absolutely.
Do not try to teach nobody nothing. Now, what will happen is this. The enlightened ones is spiritual. They will find you. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
They will find you. It's something spiritual. Might be a conversation, might be something you might have on, but they will find you. But a dead person, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't waste your time.
Okay.
You see.
But can you still help them with, kind of the basics of, parenting and things, just basic stuff now?
Well, that's just basic human survival on the planet with them.
Okay.
I'm just talking about knowledge.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm just talking about knowledge.
Wow.
You see, basic human survival, you help, we're not talking about being exclusive. You see what I'm saying? But my point is understand the people that you're dealing with. You would not go to a baby and say, you're going to learn this calculus today. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
All right, it's the same concept. You got to know the people that you're dealing with.
You're right.
You see.
Thank you so much for taking my call.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go to area code 2.